Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. And on today we have Luke, who took this Orcust striker list to the Manchester Regional and stole a first place win, playing it as best he could and showing it off for what it can do. So no interview this time, but we do have the full deck list to run through alongside a basic sliding strategy, information about all of his rounds, and some additional thoughts. So let's dive right in here. So we have the usual lineup of Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher, both being able to send any of your Orcust cards or your Gizmek to the graveyard to get your plays going. The one Gizmek, of course, people just are typically running this at 1 now. Since you can send it with the Nightmare anyway, or any of your other senders, then you should be pretty much fine with that as it is. 2 Mathematicians, so this again has picked up popularity over the Scrap, I think it was Recycler, in that if it does get hand-trapped, at least it will be able to float into something more valuable after the following turn anyway. Double Skeleton, again, this has been put to 2 in pretty much every list that we see. Triple Harp, Double Nightmare, 1 Wand, and for draw power we have a Double Allure of Darkness here. Triple Call by the Grave to stop any of your opponent's hand traps. He's opted to play double Cosmic Cyclone in the main as main deck spell and trap removal, so not opting to play the removal Sky Striker spells instead. The one Foolish Burial, of course. This is an Into the Void build. We've seen that with a lot of the Sky Striker builds, although not all of them have started playing Into the Void as a more consistent way to get your engine going. 1 Babel, Double Return, and the 1 Reasoning here. This is pretty interesting, so people generally just have no idea what to call against you. The ratios in this deck make it very difficult for them to get it accurate, because you've got 5 level 4s, 4 level 3s, 1 level 1 or 2 level 8s, and 2 level 7s, so it's a little bit tricky for people to deal with that, and apart from that there aren't any other monsters, so it's likely that you're going to have a lot of resources in the grave and a monster on the field. 1 Rotor, so you get your choice of your warriors, and the usual lineup of 1 Hornet, double Shark Cannon, 1 Widow Anchor, and triple Engage. No Afterburners, no Eagle Boosters in here either. 1 Upstart Goblin, because it's a spell heavy lineup. Triple Imperm as the only hand trap. Again, you need to pick a hand trap so that you can play around your Into the Void resolving. And finally the 1 Orcust Crescendo. For the extra deck, double Dingisu, 1 Boilg Blocker, 1 Borosword, 1 Clara and Rushka. I think this one's pretty interesting because you don't always see it being an option, but it is a way to get any of your monsters into the grave, so that's pretty nice. Only 2 Galatea in this build. 1 IP, 1 Phoenix Unicorn, Longisu, Kagari. Shizuku has again been a very popular choice for the striker builds, and 1 Bomber Dragon and 1 Trisbana, so he opted not to play the Zeraboros, instead being able to blow up the monsters multiple times or blowing up the spells and traps multiple times instead. For the side deck, triple Lancia, triple Phantasme, triple Nibiru, triple Twisters, and triple Evenly Matched. So 6 cards for back row decks, and what's this, 9 for combo decks, although obviously the Lancia is a little bit combo specific. So for the siding strategy that he applied, he has not provided a side out strategy because he said it was pretty much just down to whatever he felt like taking out at that particular moment. But for siding in, for obviously any back row or control decks, going first you put in the Twisters, and going second you put in both Twisters and Evenly Matched. For the mirror match you just put in Lancias going first, but when you're going second you can put in the Phantasmes as well as a nice way of fixing your hand, giving yourself a slightly more consistent deck in that particular instance. And then for generic combo decks, pretty much no serious changes going first because there's nothing really here that is designed to counteract that. But for going second, Lancia if you need it, Phantasme and Nibiru of course all come in. For the rounds that he played, so it was a 7-round event, went totally undefeated here. So round 1 was against Burning Abyss Orcust, which we've seen float in and out of the format, so it's interesting to see it come back every now and again. True Draco, of course, everyone's favourite / least favourite deck, so took it down 2-0 here. Lunalight Orcust, something that we've seen was super popular before, not very popular at the moment, but there are still people who are managing to pilot it to great success, but not this time around. Luke managed to make sure that did not happen with a 2-0 victory. Round 4, another Draco player, another 2-0. Round 5 against Sky Striker, a 2-1 here, playing against his friend slash teammate James. Round 6 against Heroes, a 2-1. And round 7 against Earth BA. He said this deck was really cool, and he was very fortunate to draw hand traps in order to win against it and claim a 2-1 victory here. I asked him how the event was. He said it was pretty good and it ran very well and finished in good time. He decided to play this particular deck because he played it for YCS Milan and a few other WCQs, and they were just wondering how they could make the deck any better, so they decided to carry on playing it for this event. He says the hardest matchup was 100% Draco, even though he managed to 2-0 it both times in a row. Compared to other decks, he says that he plays a lot of draw cards, so you end up drawing almost half of your deck. So you get to do a lot of the same thing every game, and it also allows you to play through multiple hand traps as well, which just allowed him to gain more wins. As for changes, he says there aren't really a lot of things he would like to change. He thinks the list is as close to being perfect as it could possibly be, except for he might want to try and fit in a third Galatea. He was testing to see if he ever needed the third. It only came out once, but he could be playing around needing it in the future anyway. As for the most influential stuff for this deck, absolutely engage, and there's not really a lot that's going to impact the deck in the future except for the possible ban hammer coming down and ripping into this deck. As for shoutouts, they go to Jarrah James and Steven. The biggest shoutout is for Ninja Cake Cards and Harlequin's Game Store, both amazing places to buy singles. Check out Ninja Cake Cards on Card Market and eBay for any of the cards that you need to make this deck and potentially take home your first place victory. So thanks very much for coming on, Luke, and sharing your list and insights. What do you guys think about this Striker Orcust list? Is this how you envision it moving forward into the future, and will it survive a ban list? We'll just have to see.